Hello, everybody. Welcome to Google Docs Rocks. My name is Donna Rashford. I'm here with Integration Inspiration, and I have videos for teachers and other educators and people in the education field to learn about different technology tools to integrate with education. You can use these to integrate with various content areas and multiple grades. So today I'm focusing on Google Docs and how you can use that in the classroom and some different tips and tools on how to create assignments, how to share them, how to collaborate with other educators or faculty members, how students can collaborate using those tools, and how you can use them on various learning management systems such as Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, just to name a few. So I'm going to share my screen and pull up. I'm just going to share my whole thing just because I'm going to be going back and forth with lots of different things. So the first thing I am showing you is a document that I created that I call it my standards cheat sheet, and it's a work in progress. So give me a break here. But I just have our state standards listed, and I also have the next grade level up. And I made one of these cheat sheets for each grade that I teach. I'm a special education teacher that teaches multiple grades, special education gifted focus. And I often have to try to move the children up to a higher level, and so I needed some kind of way to organize that information. So when you're on Google Docs, you can just create a regular document, word processing document, and use it in that way. But you can also use it to collaborate. And I'm going to show you one way. If you want to share this document with someone else, there's a button in the top that says share. You click on that button and you type that person's email address, and it will shoot this document straight immediately to that person, and they'll get that email. You can also determine whether or not you want to have that person be able to type or work on that document, and they will be an editor. Or if you just want them to view the document and not be able to type or make any changes, you would make them a viewer. Or if you want them to give you some comments or feedback on the document, but you don't want them to make any changes, then you would allow them to be a commenter. So that is how to share your document. You can, if you want to make a new document, you would just go to your Google Docs homepage, and to go to that homepage, you just can type in docs.google.com, and it will pull up your Google Doc for whatever account that you are using at that time. You can also go to the Waffle, which is the this group of docs right here, and it will show you Google Docs as a choice of all the different tools in your Google Suite. And those tools may vary depending on if you are part of a Google EDU organization. So if your school is a Google school, you may have more things or less uh, things in this area. But of course, we're waiting on it to load. So here's some examples of some various Google apps, and you would just scroll down till you saw Google Docs. You can also create a new Google Doc by typing in docs. I believe it's docs.new. Yeah, docs.new, and that will create a new Google document. Now, here is a way to collaborate with your team on a Google document. Let's say someone has added you as an editor or as a commenter. You can highlight, or if you want to add someone else, you can highlight a section of the text. So maybe you've created this. This is a project description of something that I had in the hallway, and maybe I was concerned about the second paragraph, and I wanted somebody to look over it and tell me if they see any errors or anything that I need to add. Once you highlight that text, a little small plus sign appears on the side, and it says add a comment. You can also get to commenting by clicking on insert and then there's comment. Or you can do the shortcut Control Alt M. So I'm just going to click this box and it'll show who I'm logged in under. And then I can type in my comment. So anybody that is listed as a collaborator or has access to this document will see this comment tied into this text. If I want to, I can also send this to a certain person, my comment to a certain person, and I can just say, "What do you think?" And then I can tag them by clicking the @ sign and then typing their email address, and it will send an email to that person with my comment. So they'll be part of this discussion, and I am allowing this person to be able to comment. And now, if I want them, after they look at it, do I want them to change it? Then I'll make them an editor, and then I will click comment. It'll shoot this person an email, and they can either respond in their email or they can click onto that document um, on Google Docs because it will be in their share file. So I'm on this email that I just sent it to. I'm going to go to my the Docs homepage, and then once my homepage pulls up, it possibly could pop up on the recent documents area. If not, then I'll be able to find it in my shared section. Of course, it's loading. There we go. Oh, also, when you want to create a new document, you can click on the little plus sign here at the bottom of this page, and that will be a way to pull that up. So let's see. I forgot what it was called. Oh, Shakespeare vocabulary. Here it is, Shakespeare vocabulary. So this, and it has the name of the person who owns the document. So I know that under this account, I don't own it. It was owned by my other Gmail account. So I'm pulling up the document that was recently shared with me. And a faster way to get to it would be to I could go to my Google Drive and it would be on there. So I have the vocabulary, and then as soon as it's low, you'll be able to see the comment that I just made on my other Google account because it tagged me in it. And like I said, it'll show up on the email. Okay, da 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 da. Yes, I know. I know. Google is really good about letting you know what account you're in. So if you look on the corner, whatever, if you don't have a picture, then it might be like the initials. So now that there's more than one person who is working on this document, if you look right here, it'll show you who all is collaborating on this document. And so there's a picture because I do have a picture for my other account of myself. So when I see that picture, I know that this person is one of the collaborators. So anything that this person does is going to be in the pink color, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But here's the comment, so you can see this person typed in a comment, and then I can respond, and it'll send that person an email. So I might say it looks awesome, or no changes need to be made. It whatever I want to say in that instance. Then I can reply. It automatically goes through super quickly. Now, what if I did want to make a change? If I did want to make a change, there's something that you can notice on the top corner over here. It says editing mode, because remember I gave email account editing access. So this is very something to think about if you are collaborating with other faculty members, or if a student has turned in a Google document to you and you are making corrections. So if I'm in editing mode, I would be able to make corrections directly onto the text. And maybe instead of having these numbers on here, maybe I want to change it to 1,300. Just, whatever I want it to do. And it'll automatically make that change in the document. But I could also change this to suggesting mode. And in suggesting mode, I wouldn't, I would highlight what needs to be changed. Oh, okay. I did not want to do that. Sorry. Okay. It's because I have a little bit of a lag going on. So I will highlight what I want to change, make the correction. So maybe I want to change 15,000 to uh, 14,000. Instead of deleting it, it'll show the change next to what was already typed on the document. And it'll say you may want to do, it's like it's a suggestion. It's not going in and directly changing somebody's work. And I know could be very helpful with teachers or educators collaborating with other educators on the same document, but also when students are collaborating with one another and doing peer editing, rather than having another student go in and like completely change that person's work. They can go into suggesting mode right here again, and then it'll send also the person who has that is a collaborator. It'll make a comment automatically for you and say replace this with that, and then that person can make a reply and say no or yes. Okay. So that is the suggesting mode. So I'm going to take it off of suggesting mode right now, put it back in editing, and go back to the other account. And now I'm in the other account and I see, remember I told you it was going to be a different color. So it's showing me in that color what the other person did, and it has the comment uh, of what they're talking about. And then I can also see no changes needed from this other person that they responded to my question. So another cool thing that you can do when students are working on Google Docs is I like to use Google Docs for students to be able to conduct research and do research reports. So this is a project description about vocabulary, but maybe we are learning about William Shakespeare, and I want them to research or write a report about one of the characters in Shakespeare's plays, or research different tragedies besides plays written by Shakespeare, maybe someone who was a writer during the same time, or just do a report on Shakespeare. So if I wanted them to do a report on Shakespeare, they could get onto the Google Doc, and then they can click this button that's called Explore. And it's all the way at the bottom. Click on Explore. What Explore does is it'll pull up things from what is already written on your text. And so it pulled up affix and vocabulary and root because this is a vocabulary project. But let's say I wanted to focus more so on Shakespeare. Your student could type in, huh, let's click off of that. Okay. So I could type in Shakespeare on this Explore. And I know I didn't capitalize it, but that's the lovely thing about Google. And bam, your students have no reason to leave out of this Google document. So within this Google document, it's already has pulled up which the first site that would pull up on a regular Google search. And then also there's more web results for information about William Shakespeare. So that student could click on one of these links, read information about that topic. They can also find images, and these are all safe to use from Google, so you don't have to worry about the copyright issues. Or it will also search your Google Drive for other documents or information that you already have about Shakespeare. So maybe you had a PowerPoint or some text about him or anything like that. It can search for that. So let's say the student did go to one of these websites, read information, and then type that into the document. You can also teach them about being a good digital citizen and go down to the bottom of the page, and they can click this little quotation mark and they can cite and create a footnote for where they got their information. So that is helping teach the students to cite their sources, and you can use this would be a great tool for elementary students and older students as well. So these are some of the different tools that I will use. I showed you how to create a Google Doc. I showed you how to share your Google Doc and how to collaborate with your Google Doc. Now, what about integrating it with Google Classroom or with Microsoft Teams or other learning management um, activities? So, one thing that you could do is you could download what you have created. And the cool thing about Google, you can download it as a docs format. So, especially those of you who are using Teams, this could be helpful. And then you could just upload that into your Teams files or your class notebook. Also, you could save it as a PDF, and that would be just a picture version of it. So the students will be able to click on anything or type anything. So this would be for, let's say you made a printable, or like I have these directions and things like that. If there's some directions on an assignment and you don't want the formatting or anything of that to change, then you would save it as a PDF and upload it to Google Docs or to Google Classroom. You also can, the cool thing about Google Classroom, and I'm going to pull up, um, I'll pull up Google Classroom. Hold on a second. Oh, it's because I'm on this document. So I'm going to type in Google Classroom, and I'll just pull up one of the many Google Classrooms that I have access to. Once I pull in, you can also get to Google Classroom from the Waffle. So, of course, being that Google Docs is a Google product and part of the Google Suite, it seamlessly interacts with Google Classroom. So, I would just go to my classwork tab, and then I can either create a new assignment or I can add this Google Doc to an already created assignment. So, let's just say I'm making something new just for the sake of it. And if it's just something I want the students to view or look at, then I can just go to material. Or if it's not something that they need to just turn in, and then I can click where it says add, and then I can pull up that Google document from Google Drive, the one that is in my folder. Now, keep in mind, if you are like me and have more than one Google account, just try to make sure that you remember where you saved that document, which account you saved it under, or just remember to share it like I showed you earlier. Share that to the Google Classroom Google account that you have. So then you just scroll down to, Google Doc that you already have, and then click insert, and it'll pull up that Google Doc. Easy peasy. And again, this is a material. So on the materials, it wouldn't be making a copy or anything. It would just be something for the students to view. And of course, if it's an assignment, then and I clicked add, went to my drive, and then I picked and it also has an option for you to upload. So if you did save it as a PDF, you can pull it up from your computer. So then I will scroll down to that document that I wanted to edit, click insert, and then here I have the choices for them to just only view it, to edit it, or to make a copy. And this is if I want each student to have their own version of this activity to work on independently. So I hope this has been helpful. I love using Google Docs with my students, and I can pull up really quickly if I scroll down a little bit because I've been working on some different things on Google Docs, but I do have some different activities that my students have done on using Google Docs, such as we use it a lot for writing poetry, and we use the poetry kind of as a um, summary of learning or of the topic that we've been dealing with. So they may write a different kind of poem about that topic. They also use Google Docs for their reports. So I can scroll down and I do have some of the student work saved on my computer. I've been using, oh, here it is. So just a think, puzzle, explore activity, um, things like that. That you can use your Google Docs for. And you can also use it for things for yourself, for reflections, or for creating assignments or lesson planning or references, like I had on the third grade standards cheat sheet. Oh, let me stop sharing. Okay, so I hope that is a good tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit more about Google Docs. The cool thing about Google, oh, okay, one quick thing that I want to show you real super short is versions. So I forgot to talk about that. Don't forget versions. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my third grade standards cheat sheet. Let's say you have a document that you're sharing with another teacher, or you have students working on Google Docs, typing reports or different activities, and oh no, another student changed something that you that their partner wanted to keep, or a student made a mistake and deleted everything that they wrote, or another teacher changed something not knowing that it would completely mess up what you have. The cool thing about Google is it has versions, it remembers, so it saves as you go. And then if you click this little light gray link here, it can show you the history of different changes and edits made on your document. So it'll show you, January 2nd, this, and then it'll have the name of the user who made the change. So if you have other collaborators, it'll show their name if they are logged into their Google account. It won't show a difference if you're using the same account, but if they're logged in, it'll show you their name, the date, and the changes. And if you prefer to go back to your original version, you click on the version that you're looking for, and all you have to do is click restore, and poof, voila, it is back to what you need. And it's of course it's loading slowly, and I don't even remember what even is the big difference from that version. Also, there's a part about name versions. So as you're working on a document, you can name the version of it. So maybe you want to name and have an original, and that way you can know what was the very first version of whatever it is you were working on. And if I can get it to, okay, here we go. So I might want to name this as my original version. Then I'll go to file, And here it is on the version history. So it says name current version. So I want to name this version as, you know, original version. I don't know. You can be as creative as you want for that. Now I'll know if I look on the version history which one was the one that I really wanted to keep or something like that. So that's the version history. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned some new tricks of the trade with Google Docs. And make sure you like and subscribe. Bye.